and welcome in to week 5 of the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour here at Richmond Raceway. So we're going to be going 100 laps in tonight's race. Let's go ahead and get our race info showed up here. Like I said, 100 laps here at Richmond. You can see the weather, 78 degrees, as usual, night race, so we should have plenty of grip on the track for these guys. Hopefully we get some long green flag runs we've been searching for this entire season. So before we go down to the grid, let's take a look at our current standings. So we can see Bryant Miller, Justin Brooks, Connor Knowlton, Brian Conover, and Kyle Terzak leading the top 5 in the Honor Series. I'll remind the viewers, 2,500 IR and above will fall in the Honor Series. 24.99 and below at the start of the season, you'll find yourself in the Courage Series, currently led by Anthony Monroe, Nicholas Walthorn, Chris Fleming, Stephen Choate, and Dakota Malore. That rounds out both top 5s in both series. Let's get that graphic out of here. Let's get the race info out of here, and let's go down the track and look at your starting lineup, brought to you by Emblem Athletic. So starting on the pole, we got Justin Brooks, currently sitting P2 in the points after sitting out last week. It's been up and down season for Justin Brooks after finding himself some EOLs early on in the race, was able to battle back at Martinsville, pull off the victory there. So he's looking for his 3rd win of the season tonight at Richmond. On his outside, we have Philip York driving the Houston River machine. The white 97 should be 97P. We'll work on tightening up the number schemes. I think we have 2 number 97s in the field tonight. On the inside of the second row, we have JT Bierman driving the Red Ghost Chevrolet. On his outside, we have Bryant Miller in the 99 SSR School of Sim Racing Ford Mustang. On the inside of the third row, we have Brian Conover, our other 97 tonight in the lineup. And then on his outside, we have Eli Lewis, first timer here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour, driving the 03 Wrangler. On the inside of the next row, we have Stephen Choate in the black and purple Fine Line Concrete Ford Mustang. On his outside, we have Kyle Terzak racing the Team ZeemSetupShop.com. Inside next row, we have Nicholas Walthorn in the 54 Monster Ford Mustang. On his outside, we have Jeremy Weigel in the Personal something company. Good looking paint for Jeremy. Inside of the next row, we have Anthony Monroe in the 82 Monroe Motorsports Chevrolet. On his outside, we have Dakota Malore in the MB Automotive Repair Ford Mustang. EJ Lou is going to be in the inside of the next row in the 24 Panic 24E Chevrolet. On his outside, we're going to have Clayton Dorner in the purple 14 machine. On the inside of the next row, we're going to have Blaine Harrison, another first-timer here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour in that white and blue 7 Ford Mustang. Greg Pillar is going to be on his outside, racing with the Miller High Life Kohort paint. Good-looking paint there by Greg Pillar with a nice spec map. Justin Raymond's going to be on the inside of the next row, and the Sundays are for the Kohort 199 Chevrolet, and Anthony Callahan's going to be his outside in These Nuts, number 31. Dustin Nova's going to find himself on the inside, further back in the field in the Zeems Shop 96 with Ken Zeems on his outside in the Barbie Mobile. Trevor Haley's going to be on the inside of the next row in the 12 Body Armor. Shout out to Ryan Blaney with Frank Klein, who is not yet gridded. Frank Klein's going to be out of this race, actually. Tyler Catalano in the 64 Rocket Performance Ford Mustang. And then rounding out your field is going to be Chris Fleming in the Justin Brooks design Emblem Athletic Chevrolet. It's good looking paint made by Dustin Brooks. So we're going to go through our penalties this week. So let's see if we have any penalties to go over. I know we've had penalties in the past. So let's pull up our penalty board to see if there's any EOLs. I know there's going to be some DQs tonight. So tonight, not in the lineup due to some extracurriculars, consecutive weeks with incidents. Frank Klein and Dustin Novoa are going to be DQ'd this week, with Hunter Harriet, Mason Johnson, and Trevor Catalano all receiving an EOL. Trevor Catalano was also DQ'd after the SK race after some intentional wrecking, which we will have zero tolerance for here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. So Trevor gets a nice vacation here on a week that he would have received an EOL, but it's going to be a 1-week suspension here in the Late Model Stock Tour since the incident occurred in the SK series, another series that we host here in the Kohort late model, or excuse me, the Kohort iRacing League. So let's go ahead and get this thing playing. Let's get some green flags going and welcome in to the... All right, well, I can't find my button. It's somewhere around here. All right, I've lost my button, but we're gonna get this up here, right here. Welcome into the Richmond, North of Richmond 100, brought to you by Emblem Athletic and 5.6 Graphics. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're gonna have 100 laps here. We decided to go a little bit longer of a race this week. Hopefully get some green flag runs. We've had a series of races with a lot of caution laps, so we're hoping that we can get that going. Let's see if we can get these laps shown up here. Currently not shown, maybe because we haven't taken the green flag. Once we get the green flag, the laps should show up on the board. Not currently showing, but we'll see if we get this thing kicked off to make sure that you guys can see what lap we're on as this race gets underway. But I'll draw your attention to the leaderboard on the left-hand side. You're going to see the Honor Series and the Courage Series. Each have their own leaderboard. There will be 2 winners in this race, as if just as every other race in the Cohort Series does for those 2 series, being the Honor and the Courage. And green flag, Justin Brooks leads us. Looking for that. There we are, lap 1 of 108. So something tells me we're gonna have some extra laps here tonight. So stay tuned to see all the drama as Justin Brooks leads us through the field. Ooh, first caution's out. Let's see, early caution here. Let's see who is involved. We have Anthony Monroe's off pace. Let's see if we can capture the first caution here tonight. Early caution. Ooh, yep. Looks like we have, well, there's some, extracurriculars there. But I think this is our incident that we're going to look at right here. So we have Anthony Monroe in the 82 on the inside of the black of Kyle Terzak. Looks like Kyle Terzak is going to come down. Anthony's all the way down on the line. Let's see where the contact happens. Yeah, Anthony, as far down as he can get, makes contact with Kyle Terzak. Going to bring out our first caution here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour, brought to you by Emblem Athletic and 5.6 Graphics. So Anthony Monroe, I'll remind you guys, our current points leader in the Courage Series, spun around here early. That's going to give a great opportunity for Nicholas Walthorn, Chris Fleming, Stephen Cho, and Dakota Malore to close that gap. You can see there's only 12-point spread between first and fifth in the Courage Series. Pretty significant gap up in the Honor Series, but the Courage Series very tight between these guys. So Anthony Monroe is going to be looking to regain those positions as this race unfolds. So again, I'll take this opportunity to give a shout out to our sponsors. Emblem Athletic coming on board, offering championship merchandise for the champion of both series and the SK series. So appreciate Emblem Athletic coming on, offering Kohort merch, and 5.6 Graphics offering up a paint for the winner, or the championship for both series in the late model. They didn't hop on board on the SK series, but at least 2 paints going out for 5.6 Graphics for the winner of the champions of both the Honor and the Courage Series here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. So we'll go ahead and take this opportunity to go through the field, reintroduce our drivers. Let's see what we got. We were able to meet up with some drivers pre-race, find a little bit about them. So let's go see what we got here. So we'll go back a little bit further in the field. We'll go to Kyle Terzak, caught up in that last incident. So Kyle Terzak, a Virginia native, so a local driver here Richmond, Virginia. So he's a short drive up to Stafford away. So relatively close, representing the Zeem setup shop in the Halloween 51. Good looking paint here. So shout out to Kyle Terzak, Virginia native, racing here at Richmond. Worth noting though, it is not his favorite track. His favorite track would be Lanier. So I'll be looking forward to Kyle Terzak racing at Lanier here in the future. As we're back under green flag, Justin Brooks leading us to the field. We have Philip York in that white number 97 all by himself. Let's see if we're doubled up a little bit further back in the field. We have Nicholas Walthorn looking on the inside of the 03 of Eli Lewis. Let's see if he's able to clear him into the turn 3. He does clear him, and cleared for turn 4 is going to take the check flag take the cross start finish in the 7th position. So we have another side-by-side battle. Further back in the pack, looks like the 14 of Clayton Dorner's looking to the inside of the 20 car of Jeremy Weigel's. Looks he's caught on the outside here. And Justin Raymond's going to look to close that as well. Jeremy Weigel's stuck on the outside. Richmond's almost big enough where you can keep momentum on your outside, making it tough for that guy on the inside to clear him. As you can see, they're still battling side by side. It's really going to require that guy on the outside to pinch him down so as to not to make the turn so wide, because that's where you will lose that position. But Jeremy Weigel was able to battle back and retain that position on the high side away from Justin Raymond, as we were just talking about that. So you see a battle right here between Blaine Harrison and Clayton Dorner, looking to get by as Clayton just passes the 24 machine of EJ Luna. Blaine's looking to make a move, maybe a little block there by the 7 machine of Blaine Harrison, keeping Clayton Dorner behind him for now. Blaine's going to be looking to go into the inside of Eli Lewis into turn 1. As we have a pass for the lead, Philip York is now your race leader, got by Justin Brooks. This is a longer race, so perhaps some tire saving from some of the guys in the front. Justin Brooks perhaps saving a little bit more than Philip York in the early going. But worth noting, Philip York, currently your race leader, is in the Honor Series. So he finds himself in that lower division in the Courage Series. I'm misspeaking. Philip York is in the Honor Series, So he's above that 2,500 IR threshold as Justin Brooks looks to get back on his inside. Early battle here for the lead. Riding along on the nose here, Philip York. So you see Justin Brooks just on the inside there, still battling side by side. So from the cockpit view, you can see Philip York giving Justin Brooks enough space on the inside. As caution, we saw the flag man waving there. Let's go see. Yeah, Eli Lewis, Anthony Monroe again. Let's see if we can catch this accident. Let's go back. Yeah, they're still spun around there, so let's go see if we can go back a little bit further. Well, there's some drama right there. Anthony Monroe. Oh, secondary accident. So let's go. It looks like Anthony Callahan was caught up in it. See if we can go on the nose of Anthony Callahan, see if that's going to capture it for us. Might need to go a little bit further back. Eli Lewis, Chris Fleming. Okay, there it is. Anthony Callahan comes up and runs into... Let's rewind a little bit and see if we can capture exactly who was where. Yeah, we don't quite have the camera angle here, so let's go see if we can get perhaps a far chase view of this incident, and let's see if we can capture. Yeah, so we see Eli Lewis getting a little loose on the outside, coming down, making contact with an also loose 31 machine of Anthony Callahan. Getting a little loose, so his rear end was taking a little bit further. So 2 cars getting a little loose there, making contact, and terrible time to make contact as that sends Anthony Callahan into the outside. And then we see Anthony Monroe and I believe Trevor Catalano getting caught up in the secondary incident after the initial caution flag came out. So 2 cautions here, 11 laps in. That was just a little hard racing, getting just a little bit loose and causing that contact. So caution flag is out for the second time here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. Yeah, as we take a look at these cars, you see Tire Catalano, excuse me. Anthony Monroe in the pits trying to repair that damage. Eli Lewis opting to stay out. So you can see Anthony Monroe got that car fixed up. We do have one fast repair here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. We opted with no tires, so these guys will be on the same set for all 100 laps we're racing tonight. So he got it all fixed up. Again, Eli Lewis now deciding to come down. Let's see if he uses his fast repair as well. Definitely uses that fast repair. Good to go. Using a little bit early. Anthony Callahan, see he's a little bent up, especially a lot of rear damage. So opting to not use the fast repair. Let's see if he's off pace once you go back green flag racing. But not using your fast repair, again, it's only 10 laps into this race. So is it necessary to use this early? Do you want to use it this early? You never know what's going to happen. We have had double-digit cautions in every race so far this season. So Anthony Callahan, being a veteran of the league, perhaps a little foreshadowing, expecting a little more cautions to happen, some carnage to ensue, electing to just repair some damage the hard way in lieu of that fast repair. So let's get the tower back up here. Let's see what these guys are doing. So I do apologize for the confusion a little earlier with Philip York being in the Courage Series. He is in fact in the Honor Series with Justin Brooks. Philip York sitting around a 3,500 IR, so well above the 2,500 cut line. Justin Brooks, if you've been in before, you know that he's a 10K I rating, but currently in second place in this race, so he is beatable. So it looks like the pace lights are out. Pace truck's going to go in this time. We're going to go back under green. Philip York's going to lead us as we're hoping yet again for a green flag run here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. Appreciate you guys joining in. Pace truck's in. Philip York's going to lead us to the green flag. Let's get them going here as they're in the 5-6 graphics restart zone. Green flag's in the air, and we're back under green flag. Riding along with Philip York, currently P1. Justin Brooks right behind him, if not on his inside. Yeah, doubled up for the lead between Philip York and Justin Brooks. Justin Brooks made a look to clear him into turn one. No, Philip York sends it on the outside. Perhaps that shows you who's saving a little bit more than the other. Philip York clearing Justin Brooks on the outside going into turn one would indicate that Justin Brooks might have lifted a little bit early. So perhaps tire saving mode for Justin Brooks early on in this race as we head out of turn 4 to make it lap 19. Look at a battle further here in the field between JT Bierman as Justin Raymond gets by him on the inside. First timer here in this Kohort Late Model Stock Tour, and JT Bierman joined earlier today, so just joining the league, finds himself back currently in the 13th position, down 10 positions from the start of this race. So as we go through the field, we can see we're single file through the field. Just as I say that, Stephen Choate looks to the inside of Justin Brooks. Once again, very evident Justin Brooks, after setting the fastest time in qualifying, falling back to the 4th position, very much appears to be very much in tire conservation mode. Expecting a long green flag run here, as we are all single file. So this typically breeds a longer green flag run when cars are lined up single file on fresh tires, relatively fresh tires, only 20 laps in with 2 cautions. So we're looking at approximately 10 green flag laps on these tires, still lots of grip. So biding your time, expecting some tire fall off by the end of this race. Expecting between 50 and 60 on a right front. If you've raced pretty good, if you're above a 60, you've done very well, and perhaps you'll find yourself further in the field for not pushing a little bit harder. But still single file, we got a battle between Philip York and Bryant Miller for the lead. I know it's early in the race, but this is an important battle. As you see Bryant Miller maybe looking to the inside. As I'll remind you guys, Bryant Miller is currently P1 in the Honor Series with Justin Brooks, who has won multiple times in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour in the field tonight. So Bryant Miller is going to need to finish ahead of Justin Brooks if he wants to maintain that points lead. And I'll also remind everybody, there's a 5-point bonus for winning the race. So Bryant Miller desperately wants to get by Philip York, try to get that clean air, get out front, lead some laps, also a bonus point as he looks to the inside of Philip York here as they cross start finish. Looks like he's going to clear him. Does Philip York cross him over? No, likes to stay behind him here. Or did I speak too soon? Oh, close battle between these two. Philip York wasn't quite sure if he wanted to cross him over. Late crossover, but nonetheless, Bryant Miller gave him room, gave him space. Respectful driving up here between these top two. Ryan on board with Bryant Miller. You can see he keeps his left sides to the bottom side of those hash marks, really pinching Philip York down. But if you want to make that outside work, you're definitely going to have to pinch that guy down. If you find yourself clear of that second groove, you see Philip York diving on the inside. Does Bryant Miller have enough to cross him over? Not this lap. So Philip York back to the point here in lap 27. Kohort Late Model Stock Tour, Richmond Raceway. There might be, looks like caution on the tracks. Let's go see. So we have, yep, there it is right there. So let's rewind this right here. Looks like we have the 51, Kyle Turzak. Let's see if we can ride along Kyle Turzak here. Let's hop behind him. Bar chase, slow-mo. Let's go back a little bit further. All right, so we see that they're 3 wide there. We'll go slow-mo from here. We can talk through it. Kyle Turzak sees that they're 3 wide with, I believe, the 6, 5, the 5 of JT Bierman and the 46 of Dakota Malorno's outside. Can't quite hold the bottom, comes up, clips JT Bierman after carrying way too much speed into that turn, not be able to keep it down on the apron. In a way, self-clears himself as Dakota Malor just innocent bystander on the outside. I believe he was having some connection issues, so was electing to fall back to the field. And unfortunately, due to that decision, gets caught up in this incident. Bring out our third caution of the night, Kyle Turzak getting caught up with the number 5 of JT Bierman. Heavy damage to the front and rear of the 51 machine of Kyle Turzak. So let's see if he goes down and utilizes his fast repairs. We're approaching lap 30 here at Richmond Raceway. JT Pierman, despite being caught up in that, it looks like his car is clean. It doesn't appear that Kyle Terzak's going to come down for that fast repair. Again, we expect carnage later in this race, so you don't want to use that fast repair too soon. So maybe Kyle Terzak not thinking he has that much damage, although pretty significant damage to that nose, you guys can see, also to the rear. So we'll see if he gets off pace here. And there he is, electing to come down. Pit road must have been closed. So we see the 5, JT Bierman, Dakota Malloy, and Kyle Terzak all electing to come down. So let's go back on board with Kyle Terzak, see if he elects to use his fast repair. As JT Bierman elects to pit. Let's see, fast repair for Dakota Malloy. Does not appear so. Kyle Terzak electing for that fast repair. JT Bierman, fast repair. And Dakota repairing it the hard way. Just as Anthony Callahan elected to do earlier. You see the side of Anthony Callahan's car. Looking very wavy. Sandcastle wave pool going on there. So pace truck lights are still on. Let's see if they get shut off. Nope, still 2 to go. So let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors. Once again, thank you to Emblem Athletic. If you haven't heard of them, give them a look up. They offer unit gear for military first responders. So if you find yourself in a fire department, police station, you want to get some unit gear for friends and family, Emblem Athletics, your one-stop shop, and 5-6 Graphics, your go-to choice for liveries here on the iRacing platform. So I appreciate both of them coming on board, offering something for our drivers in this championship chase. We'll go ahead and take a look at our schedule, see what we have coming up here later on in the season. So currently Richmond, we did extend this race for 80 laps, from 80 laps to 100 laps, again, to try to get some more conservative driving. I think tire conservation is coming into play. And next week we head to 5 Flags Speedway for 100 laps. Again, all races from this point forward will be extended. There'll be an active poll in the Discord every week, potentially until we decide on how far we want to go on these races. So 5 Flags will be extended from 100 laps to 130 laps is what we're going to race next week at 5 Flags based off voting from the league. So if you're interested in longer fixed racing, Kohort Late Model Stock Tour is your place to be. So come join us next week on October 15th at 5 Flags Speedway for 130 laps of fixed late model stock racing. All right, pace truck has lights out. We will go green this time as Philip York, Bryant Miller find themselves on the front row. Brian Conover up in that in 4th position with Stephen Choate on his inside of that 2nd row. So we have our first Courage Series driver in the top 5 in Stephen Choate, a regular up there in the top 5 despite being in the Courage Series. But pace truck is in. Philip York's going to lead us to the green flag with Bryant Miller on his outside. And here they come out of turn 2. Philip York has the lead. Bryant Miller looking to his inside. Let's go see. No battle for P3 with Justin Brooks looking to go to the inside of, Stephen Choate is able to make that pass. Now we see Brian Conover looking to the inside of Stephen Choate as well. So if you haven't noticed or if you can't tell, let's go see if we can get a better angle. So we can go up right here. So if we hop on board with Philip York here, or close to Philip York, you can see that purple banner on the windshield representing the Honor Series. Going back, Bryant Miller, same thing, purple on the windshield. Stephen Choate, green on the windshield, and spoiler to represent that he is a Courage Series driver. So as you're looking tonight, go ahead and take a look at those spoilers, look at those windows, and that'll give you an idea from the field of who is in the Courage Series and who is in the Honors Series here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. To see a close battle up here between the lead. Perhaps Justin Brooks done saving. 35 laps into this race has had enough. He's going to take the point away from Philip York after saving those first 25 laps of this race. Crossover from Philip York. Let's see if he has enough to go ahead and get to the inside of Justin Brooks heading into turn 3, and he does. Let's see if Justin Brooks can get the run on the outside and lead this lap. No, looks like Philip York by a hair is going to lead that lap. Justin Brooks still on the outside, battling tough, elects to give it to him, slide down, perhaps crossover here, Justin Brooks. Or does he sit behind? Oh, he has a nose, and he sends it back underneath Philip York. Great battle up here for the lead between Justin Brooks and Philip York. Early on in this race, lap 38. And coming out of turn 2, still side by side, Justin Brooks on the inside of Philip York. As you can see, they're single filed all behind them. So the only double wide action we have here is right here at the lead. Door handle as they cross the start finish for lap 40. Philip York's still hanging tough on the outside. We talked about it earlier, where if you're able to run below that hash mark, you're able to maintain as he gets loose. A little slight disconnect there for Philip York, but got loose on the corner exit. Definitely going to give that momentum to Justin Brooks as he's able to clear him for P1 as we approach lap 41. Further back in the field, we see some congestion happening back here, 8th through 11th, between the pink machine of, 6th through 10th, with Stephen Choate in that pink number 72. Brian Conover losing some positions from the start of this green flag. Nicholas Walthorn, Anthony Monroe looking to his inside. Your current Courage Series points leader, with EJ Panic Luna and Justin Mello Raymond right behind. We see EJ Luna looking to the inside of Nicholas Walthorn as we ride along here in our drone cam. Let's see if EJ Luna is able to send it into turn 1. Can't quite clear him. I think Nick's... Oh! Contact between EJ Luna. Saw it here live. That was a close battle between these two. Let's go see if we can rewind. Perhaps check far chase view and see what happened here. Perhaps another similar incident we saw with Kyle Terzak. Sending it on the inside, not being able to. Well, let's see. Looks like Phoenix able to maintain. He's maintaining his position down there on the apron, perhaps exiting the corner. Nick Swalthorn coming down a little bit. Then they're just getting stuck with one another. You know, that's close racing. A little bit of netcode definitely sticks them together there, and they both find the outside wall, penalizing themselves. But that's close racing, nothing nefarious there. You're going to have those types of incidents. Here in late model stock tour, it's kind of hard to pass with these cars. So we've mentioned it. If you want to make that outside work, you really need to pinch that guy down. Nicholas Walthorn and EJ Luna both losing out on that aggressive racing there will now find themselves at the back of the pack, inadvertently giving both themselves the OLs. So it all works out. As he gets turned around here. Yeah, EJ Luna, some big damage. Let's go check out his car. Yeah, heavy damage for the 24 Panic machine. Maybe checking out the steering. Maybe steering's a little broke. You see that left front tire. Looks a little funny. Could be because of the fender damage, or perhaps some suspension damage for the 24 machine. I feel pretty confident he's gonna have to come down and get the fast repairs. We see Nicholas Walthorn electing to use his fast repair very quickly. I just have a hard time believing that left front should be facing that direction. Let's see if we can ride along cockpit view. See, yeah, Panic's gonna elect to come into pit road this time. Get this car fixed. We'll go ahead and hop back out. See how quickly this pit crew, see if they're faster than Lando's McLaren pit crew. Get this car fixed up, back out on the track for the second half of this race. And as simple as that, we're back to racing. Electing to use that fast repair is EJ Luna and Nicholas Walthorn. So some of the first timers here in the late model stock tour, we have Blaine Harrison, a new driver here, first race with the cohort in the Twin City Motor something, slight blinking in the blue and white 7 machine. Tyler Catalano, first timer here. Eli Lewis. We spoke about JT Bierman earlier in the broadcast. And that's going to do it for the first timers here in the cohort late model stock tour. Let's get back up to the front of the field. As we see, the pace truck has his lights off. Philip York electing to take the outside on this restart, I do believe, as he was leading whenever that caution came out. I will remind the viewers that the leader does have the option to choose the inside or the outside. Only the front row or only the leader can choose their line. Everybody else will follow the iRacing instructions. Just an advantage we like to give the leader here in the league to make sure that they're not stuck on the bottom if they want to be on the outside for that momentum. But pace truck is in. Philip York's going to lead us to the green flag here on the outside. Green flags in the air. Philip York, Blaine Harrison on the outside. See if these guys can tandem draft their way ahead of Bryant Miller and Justin Brooks on his inside, where I don't think it's going to happen. Bryant Miller's hanging tough on the inside of Philip York for the lead. You see Justin Brooks dive into the inside of Bryant Miller here. We talked earlier in this race, Justin Brooks was definitely saving. So as we're approaching halfway in this race, maybe some tire fall off starting to show itself, where Justin Brooks was able to save those tires earlier in the race. It's paying off now as he's getting right to the tail end of Philip York. Looking to the inside, let's ride along on Bryant Miller's nose, see this battle side by side right ahead of him. Justin Brooks on the inside of the 97 of Philip York. Justin Brooks still can't clear Philip York on that inside. Bryant Miller's trying to close that gap, looking to make a move, follow Justin Brooks ahead of Philip York. Justin Brooks able to clear Philip York momentarily for the lead. Philip York's going to dive it back to the inside. He's going to miss the turn. He's going to have to lift. Yes, he has to lift to avoid making contact. Justin Brooks has to leave Justin Brooks a car length ahead and open the door for Bryant Miller to go ahead and pull into P2. Good hard race there from Philip York, acknowledging the fact that he oversent it just a smidge and to avoid making contact, potentially spinning Justin Brooks. Lifts from the throttle, which opens the door for Bryant Miller, and he's there to pounce. A new name in the top 5 in Trevor Haley in that black and white Chevrolet on the outside of Blaine Harrison. Looking for his first top 5 here in the series. Been caught up in a lot of trouble in the races that he's participated in. So looking for a little bit of good luck as he finds himself currently in 5th, battling Stephen Choate side by side for that 5th position. We see Philip York getting sideways and Blaine Harrison sideways on corner exit. These guys are pushing. They know that we're over halfway. Perhaps now they were saving for that first half. Now they want to get up to the front, get that clean air. As we see Justin Brooks pulling a 0.2 gap ahead of the field. Six-tenths gap, between Justin Brooks and Bryant Miller. So commanding lead, Justin Brooks, he wants to stay to the green, maintain that position, did the tire saving when he needed to. Now I think he thinks it's time to go. side-by-side battle between Trevor Haley and Stephen Choate. Still great battle between these two for the 5th position. So they've swapped positions. Trevor Haley now finds himself on the inside. Contact, door handle to door handle through turn 4. Trevor Haley's going to lead this lap ahead of Stephen Choate. Yeah, we can see Blaine Harrison, currently the leader of the Courage Series. So Stephen Choate may be looking to get by Trevor Haley to go up there and chase Blaine Harrison for the lead here in the Courage Series. Trevor Haley just playing monkey in the middle right now between these Courage Series drivers, looking to get a top 5 and a solid points day. One interesting thing about the different series is to see a side-by-side battle between Anthony Monroe and Tyler Catalano on the inside in that blue 64. Is that the points awarded are overall points. So even if you win the Courage Series, you might finish 10th and win the Courage Series. But for race points, you still receive points for the 10th place finish, with the caveat that you do get the 5-point bonus for winning the series. So there's still a huge potential to gain a lot of points if you're one of those Courage Series drivers that find yourself finishing up within the Honor Series ranks. We have a battle up here, brewing for P2. Three-way battle. Philip York trying to hang on to that position. Bryant Miller, Blaine Harrison right on his tails. This is who Trevor Haley was able to get by Stephen Choate. Oh, excuse me, he's been ahead of him. Stephen Choate's been trying to get by him. Try to chase down Blaine Harrison for that overall series lead for the Courage Series. As Blaine Harrison's able to get by Bryant Miller. Gets a little loose. Trevor Haley doesn't get on his outside there. Very tight between these guys. Stephen Choate, Trevor Haley, Bryant Miller. Trevor Haley, Stephen Choate closed the gap on those three. They were battling. As you see Trevor Haley looking to the inside of Bryant Miller here. Some very good battles throughout the field. Tonight we saw battles earlier side by side, later or further back in the field. Now we're back here in 6th place side by side. We saw battles for the lead, so some good side by side racing from start to finish tonight. So this is the kind of racing we like to see here in the cohort. Respectable, not over sending it intentionally. We had some incidents tonight. It's a matter of aggressive pinching, and like I mentioned, if you want to get on the outside, you see Bryant Miller making a move back to the inside of Stephen Choate for the crossover. But if you want the outside work, pinching that guy down, making sure that you're holding his top speed down as much as you can, and maintain that momentum on the outside. That's what we're going to see whenever cars that are able to make it work on the outside. I think that's what you're going to see is Stephen Choate working on the outside, keeps it below those hash marks through the turn. So let's go ahead and ride along Stephen Choate, see if we can make this work on the outside. Sends it in, keep all 4 tires beneath those hash marks. Gets a little high, might have to lift a little bit to avoid hitting that outside wall. It's going to give Bryant Miller the momentum and clears him into turn 1. Let's see if he does a crossover here. Doesn't quite have the momentum to do it. So Bryant Miller is able to make that inside work ahead of Stephen Choate for the 5th position. Now we see Trevor Haley caught up on the outside as Bryant Miller is looking to make a move on the inside of that black and white number 12 machine. Bryant Miller sends it in. Does he clear him on corner exit? Nope. Looks like Trevor Haley is able to hang on to that outside. So let's see if Trevor Haley can make the outside work here. We saw Stephen Choate wasn't quite able to do it, so let's see if Trevor Haley falls victim to the inside line of Bryant Miller. Nope, Bryant Miller's able to make that inside work because he gets a little loose. Maybe a little block there. Oh, contact between Stephen Choate and Trevor Haley, as it could have been. Oh, big contact after the fact. We don't like to see that. So Trevor Haley, we were talking about him earlier. He's got caught up in incidents We'll go back a little bit further and we'll look at what happened on corner exit. Got everybody a little backed up. So it looks like Bryant Miller, let's see, yeah, it gets a little loose on the inside there. So let's go ahead and play it from here. You see Bryant Miller gets a little loose, doesn't quite go all the way up to the outside wall, which you typically see. Trevor Haley perhaps looking to go onto the inside, but with Bryant Miller getting loose, doesn't open the door for Trevor Haley. So both those cars go down way below their entry point. So now that they're down below their entry point, they're going to have to lift a little bit earlier. And perhaps Stephen Choate, not prepared for that early lift, gets into the back of Trevor Haley, sends him around. And then looks like I think Kyle Terzak drives through Trevor Haley there. But if we go look at this full speed, I'm sure it's not as easy as you would think. So slight contact there. Caution comes out. Can't see that car coming through. We'll do it one more time just to be clear of how fast these incidents happen. Sometimes they're unavoidable. So let's go ahead and give Kyle Terzak benefit of the doubt as we ride on board. So the incidents happen, he tries to go low, and Trevor Haley comes out for him. So could he have broke a little bit harder to avoid that incident? Perhaps. But these things are bang bang. He couldn't see that car spinning. Then he just kind of played peekaboo, hopped right out front of the 12 machine there. So that's going to bring out a caution. We had a nice long green flag run. Definitely put some laps on those tires. So if tire wear wasn't an issue prior to that green flag run, most certainly is now. So look to see those drivers that were being a little more aggressive, maybe have some fall off in these last 40 or so laps. Justin Brooks currently your race leader for the Honor Series and the overall race lead. Bryant Miller finds himself back in third place, so currently sits Justin Brooks to be looking to close that gap on Bryant Miller in the current point standings. Philip York on his outside, not first time here. Second race, I believe, with the Kohort late model stock tour, so finds himself further behind in the points. But as you can see, battling in the top 5 all day. So as the season progresses, there are 2 drop weeks. Perhaps battling here late in the season. Blaine Harrison, first timer here, finds himself in the point for the Courage Series with Bryant Miller on his outside, your current Honor Series leader, and Tyler Catalano rounding out the top 5 as we head to our green flag. Pace struck in. Justin Brooks electing to start on the inside of Philip York here as we head into the 5-6 graphics restart zone. Justin Brooks is underway. Slight check up there from the field, but looked like the race was clean. We'll see if Justin Brooks might have went a little early there. We'll see if race control does anything or if he did indeed jump early, so we'll see. As it appears, the restart was clear. We're still green flag racing here. Justin Brooks, Philip York. 2-car breakaway ahead of third place Blaine Harrison as they're pulling to a half-second gap. We see all kinds of trouble back here. Cars getting checked up, going 3 wide, lots of drama going on here. Laps are winding down. Anthony Monroe, Justin Raymond, contact. That's going to bring out, oh my. That's going to bring out our first caution, or excuse me, the caution flag here. So let's go back and see where this started. We saw there was all kinds of drama. I think at this point the caution's already out. So let's go see if there's a car around that we can't see right now. Because I can't tell if the caution's out at this time. So the pace, yeah, so we see Justin Raymond sideways up ahead. But I don't know if there's another car that gets spun around. No, there's a caution there, I think, just for the speed discrepancy between the 199 Justin Raymond and the rest of the cars. Then we see the 03 VI Lewis coming through. Caution came out a little bit late, and some more caution flag extracurriculars. Nothing nefarious, just really not hitting the brakes as we saw a little bit earlier with Kyle Terzak. So we do expect these drivers to wind it down as soon as that caution flag comes out, or if they see trouble up ahead, to not be overly aggressive and try to take advantage of the situation and cause more damage. You know, we definitely don't like to cause avoidable damage under caution, but incidents like that will be reviewed post-race and penalties will be administered as appropriate, or warnings, you know, so something we look for. But we do ask drivers to give the common courtesy if we see some trouble up ahead to not arc a brake and try to take full advantage of a situation and inadvertently cause damage to cars. Because at the end of the day, we only got one fast repair, and we'd like to get out racing. We see Eli Lewis getting checked up ahead of, or right behind Dakota Malloy. But caution flag's out. Let's see what damage we have going on here. Let's get this tower off the screen, shall we? So Eli Lewis perhaps electing to take his fast repair here. I do not recall him taking the fast repair earlier in the race. Let's see if he goes down there and does elect to receive this. See how fast they are. Are they McLaren fast? So no fast repair for Eli Lewis. Perhaps not electing to use it. He might have used it already. I can't remember. But Eli Lewis, post-wreck damage here. So, you know, he perhaps didn't get woe down as quickly as you'd like, but here he is repairing that damage. So once again, gets the short end of the stick anyway, so inadvertently gives himself an EOL. As he gets out ahead of the pace truck there. So perhaps already used his fast repair. Justin Brooks still leading us here. If we take a look through our field, I think as it sits with almost 20 to go, we can't award it now, but let's do a little foreshadowing. If the race was over right now, it would be Tyler Catalano, our Prius Prime mover of the race, currently up 18 positions from the start of the race. Maybe I change it to movers, then I can award it. Ken Zeems currently up 13 positions from the start of the race. Chris Fleming up 14 positions in that Emblem Athletic Chevrolet, up 14 positions from the start of the race. And Blaine Harrison finds himself in the third position, up 12 positions from the green flag. And those are your Toyota Prius Prime movers of the race. So green flag's underway. Justin Brooks leads Philip York, Blaine Harrison, and Bryant Miller as we're approaching 20 to go here at Richmond Raceway. Cars. There they are. As they head into turn one. Coming out of turn two. As we see cars everywhere, perhaps caution on the track. So we see cars flying everywhere. Typically that's an indication that there is damage. Stephen Choate was caught up in that earlier incident. Had to take an EOL as he sees himself going the wrong direction. So let's see if we can rewind and see what happened between Stephen Choate. Yeah, it looks like Stephen Choate and the 199 of Justin Raymond. So let's go ahead and hop behind the 199 of Justin Raymond. You see they're a little bit down on the track. Let's rewind a little bit more. Yes, Justin Raymond just on the outside of Stephen Choate. Battling. Going into turn one, we'll go slow-mo here. Justin Raymond on the outside. Maybe netcode getting locked up with one another. Yeah, it looks like Justin Raymond just turns it in. Stephen Choate's below him. Stephen Choate perhaps taking a little bit later entry, but contact between Mello and Stephen Choate's going to bring out the caution here. Unfortunately, Stephen Choate, who found himself in the top 5 late in this race, then we saw getting into the back, had to take an EOL. Now is working his way back up, gets turned again. So it's tough getting caught up in multiple incidents. It's very frustrating. Makes for a very frustrating night after you find yourself, starting further in the back, gaining those positions, taking an EOL, getting involved in another incident. So never a fun night when those happen. But we're winding down here. We're seeing, the cautions are starting to come a little more frequently, right? I think you guys have heard it before, and you'll hear it again. The correlation between laps remaining and intensity. So as one goes down, the other goes up. And these laps are certainly winding down, and cautions are upticking because of that intensity. So, this is the spoiler. We already highlighted the fact that the race laps will show the total laps. We do record these post-race, as I am the active race control during the races. So anytime we have these race replay broadcasts, the indication is going to be up in that top left where you can see this lap 82 of 108. So obviously we have a little bit of overtime action here at Richmond Raceway. But that's okay, because that's going to give you guys a reason to hang out or skip ahead and see what happens later in this race. But either way, I appreciate you guys stopping in. Open any feedback if something's not coming through clear in the broadcast, if the cars are too loud, if I'm too loud, if I'm too soft, whatever it is, please do let me know. I don't any other way besides commenting down below. Always appreciate that engagement with you guys. I think we're averaging about 50 views on these. There's only 25 drivers, so 50 views. So I do appreciate those people that do watch along even though they don't race. Or perhaps Justin Brooks watches it on repeat just to bask in his victories. Either way, I appreciate those views. See EJ Luna riding up on the outside. Get his tires dirty before we come to the green flag. Always a very, very smart decision. The more the marbles build up on your tires under these caution laps, the faster you'll be. So anytime you're pacing, just go ahead and drive up those marbles. It really helps with the grip. As Pace Truck should shut off his lights here, and he does. So we're going to be going green flag racing here with the spoiler of 24 laps to go. Let's see if we can get a decent green flag run here to close out this race. Here in the Week 5 edition of the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. Reminder, we do have the SK Series every Sunday night. Session opens up 7:30. Green flags at 8. Qualifying's at 8 for a 40 to 50 lap race. And that'll end in time for the 9 o'clock practice session for the Late Model Stock Tour with a green flag qualifying session at 9:30 with races ranging between 80 to 150 laps. But Pace Truck's in. Philip York, Justin Brooks going to lead that front row. Justin Brooks going to go in the Geico restart zone. Philip York battling side by side. Blaine Harrison for P2. As we see cars battling 3 wide back there. EJ Luna caught on the outside. Had all that extra speed from those marbles, trying to make that outside work. As you see above that second groove with Chris Fleming right behind, seeing if he can keep that momentum up on the outside. I'd like to go a little bit higher. We talked about earlier, you know, if you want that outside to work, you have to go a little bit lower. So EJ Luna going a little bit higher and seeing if it could work. Yeah, there's EJ Luna on the outside, still battling on the outside to Brian Conover in that black number 97. Oh, checking up. Oh, and Kyle Terzak goes around with slight contact from EJ Luna. And, oh, the big one. The big one has just happened. We saw it here live. Oh, man. Full disclosure, I'm getting pretty good at going to where the accidents are going. I used to write that down, but now I just kind of do it, go where the battle is happening. And lo and behold, I get lucky a little bit. I don't remember all the incidents throughout the race. We did race on Sunday. I'm recording this on Thursday. So we can ride along. Let's go see. I think it happens a little bit earlier. We saw obviously Kyle Terzak getting sideways there. So let's go see if we can hop on the bar chase view. Kyle Terzak, see what gets him a little upset as he sends it in. Oh, okay, we see contact up ahead between the 7 of Blaine Harrison and the 40 of Ken Zeems. That's going to send Blaine Harrison sideways, 45 degrees through the turn, never good. That's going to cause Brian Miller to check up. Kyle Terzak not seeing it, tries to swerve. I bet you if we go inside the cockpit view of Kyle Terzak, we're going to see those hands all over the place as he sees him checking up. He's going to hit it right, hit it left, and that's going to put him loose. As we hop back out of his car. Bad view. Yep, you can see him sliding there. And then getting a little touch from EJ Luna, sends him around. But it all happened from that checkup and trying to avoid it. Doing a little steering work, caused himself to get loose. And then, chaos. Back behind them as we see everybody. Whoa. If 5 of JT Bierman, airborne. EJ Luna, airborne. Yeah, so some heavy damage there from a lot of cars. Tell you what, let's see if we can ride on board with the on the nose of JT Bierman. So as we can see, he's getting caught up with Kyle Terzak here after he gets turned around. Yeah, I think he was spinning with or without the panic nudge. It had been tough recovering from that. So JT Bierman goes down the inside wall, bounces back up, gets crushed, and airborne. That is not the view you want to see from the hood of your car, damn near over the catch fence. And then another one just for good measure, spinning around with the 90 of Greg Pillar. Give him a little extra love. Hi, Kyle. How you doing? Drive main. Trying to get turned around. Uh-oh. Oh, he's able to avoid. And Anthony Monroe, I do remember this one, as Anthony Monroe looks to pull out under caution. Unfortunately, track is not clear, and heavy secondary contact from him and Eli Lewis, who we saw earlier, perhaps being a little too aggressive under the caution flag. You know, you see cars parked like that. You might want to go a little bit slower through that traffic. And Anthony Monroe, perhaps not knowing that all cars weren't by, thinking he was clear to turn around. So a series of a lack of spotting in iRacing. You know, whenever there's a parking lot on the backstretch, iRacing doesn't tell you whether all cars have passed. So some of that avoidable, some of it not. You know, so it's a video game, right? So you can't know everything at every given time. We don't have professional spotters. To my knowledge, nobody in the league currently uses an active spotter. So I think we're all using different spotter packs, whether it's the default iRacing or the Dale Jr., Jimmy Johnson. But to my knowledge, no active spotters. If you are using an active spotter, go ahead and comment below, let me know. But here we are, winding down. If there's ever a time to use the AMR safety crew, I think now was the time to bring that out. Probably should have brought it out a little bit earlier, as we see a lot of cars down here electing to get their damage repaired. So Jeremy Weigel looks like he gets his fast repair. Brian Conover, there it is, pops out. He's good to go. Greg Pillar electing to stay out. Chris Fleming, clean looking car, looks good. Eli Lewis, we saw earlier, perhaps already used his fast repair. EJ Luna, heavy damage. Kyle Turzak, heavy damage. So a lot of damaged cars here. That was certainly the biggest wreck of the race, perhaps of the year. Right there, as we saw a lot of heavy damage, all from the checkup caused by the Ken Zeems Blaine Harrison contact. But you're going to have those types of incidents here, especially this late model stock tour. The gap, the fall off, it's quick. Everything happens very quick here in this series. So whenever there's one bobble, chances are the accordion effect's going to get the second, third, fourth, or fifth guy in line. Justin Brooks, your leader. Philip York on his outside of that 97. Tyler Catalano, that is not Tyler Catalano on the inside there. 64, first timer here. Ken Zeems on the outside in the Barbie Mobile. Bryant Miller, your current points leader, with Blaine Harrison hanging on despite being sent around a little bit by Ken Zeems. Credit to Ken Zeems for backing out, not fully spinning Blaine Harrison, giving him time to collect that car. Unfortunately, Kyle Turzak was not given the time to correct it. Not saying he could have, it would have been close. Anthony Callahan still rocking the wavy Chevrolet, Ford Mustang. Is this a Ford? What is this thing? Ford Mustang. As we're doubled up, looks like we're going to go green flag racing here. Lap 91 of a scheduled 100 laps, so it would be 9 to go without the spoiler. Pace trucks in. Justin Brooks once again leading us to the green flag from the inside. Philip York on his outside. Yeah, might have been a little early. Let's see if Raceway wants to look at that one, as he gets a huge gap on Philip York here, as they're side by side with Bryant Miller and Blaine Harrison. Yeah, it looks like the caution is out. So let's go back and look. Race control elected to throw a caution flag. We're going to have to get going here with only 9 laps to go. So let's go ahead and rewind and review this replay and see if perhaps Justin Brooks going a little bit early. So we can see he's accelerating before the Geico restart zone. Hard to see here. Perhaps let's ride in the cockpit view, see if we can determine. We can't see attack, so it might be a little more difficult to see. But we'll rewind. We're going to go full motion here. Listen for the engine. Look for that blue Geico restart zone on the inside here. So we hear the acceleration there. Not quite in the Geico restart zone. You can see through his driver's side window there before the Geico restart zone. We'll pop out of his car. That's not going to quite do it. We'll go to the far chase real fast. We're going to see confirmed. Did go before the Geico restart zone. No issue. Throw the yellow. Give the warning. 2 consecutive jumps would be an EOL. So warning was given. Caution flag was out for the early start. No damage done. That's going to be a waste of a couple green flag laps here, as these laps are winding down. So these cars are going to have to get lined up quickly, get this green flag going so we can finish this race with a decent green flag run. So it looks like pace cars ahead, but we're going to keep the cars lined up where they're at right here. No sense of trying to catch pace car because then it's going to cause that accordion effect. So Justin Brooks is going to lead us through this last pace lap at pace speed, way behind the pace truck, just in the interest of getting going as soon as we can with the least likely calls for additional incidents. So Justin Brooks leading us at pace speed without a pace truck, respectfully. And we're going to head into the 5-6 graphics restart zone. Justin Brooks leading the field with Philip Yorks on his outside, Ken Zeems, and Tyler Catalano in that second row. Blaine Harrison looking to the inside, doesn't quite have a nose in there. Not going to work. As we see, Justin Brooks has about a car length gap as they close it on the inside. Tyler Catalano just getting to the inside of Philip York. So I'm going to give Justin Brooks a 3-car gap heading in turn 1 as they battle side by side behind him. Looks like caution on the track. So we didn't see that one, so let's go see if we can capture incident. Oh, there we see. Is that the 20 Anthony Monroe, 20 of Jeremy Weigel, and the 82 of Anthony Monroe? So Weigel? Definitely Weigel. Like Seagull, but with a Y. It's Weigel. All right, so let's go check the chase view. He gave me a class on how to say his name, so I appreciate that. So let's go far chase, get a better angle as we go slow-mo here. So we have Jeremy Weigel on the inside, Anthony Monroe on the outside. Jeremy comes up the slightest bit, makes contact Anthony Monroe pinching, similar to we saw all race, right? So Anthony Monroe perhaps coming down into Jeremy Weigel in this incident, but victim trying to pinch, right? So it's we'll see how this plays out, but oh, then looks like Nicholas Walthorn gets the short end of the stick there as he gets sent around by the 97 of Drive Main. So unfortunate series of events there. So look to see who elects to take the the EOL. There are, it's hard to see on the broadcast because I don't have it depicted, I don't have it annotated, but there were EOLs taken throughout this race. So for that particular incident, Anthony Monroe and Nicholas Walthorn both elected to take the EOL. If I have that written down correctly. Excuse me, Brian Conover for the secondary contact, and Nicholas Walthorn elected to take the EOL there. So Anthony Monroe, perhaps causing the checkup, was able to keep it straight. Neither of them wrecked, but then the subsequent checking up, Brian Conover does elect to take that EOL, so I appreciate that. And while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and acknowledge the other EOLs I've written down. So we have Kyle Terzak taking an EOL for incident lap 1. Kyle Terzak taking an EOL for the contact between him and JT Bierman lap 28. Nicholas Walthorn taking an EOL for contact between him and AJ Luna in lap 84. Stephen Choate taking the EOL for the contact between him and Trevor Haley. Anthony Monroe taking the EOL for the contact between him and Justin Raymond. Kyle Terzak taking an EOL for the big one for getting loose in front of EJ Luna we replayed. And most recently, Brian Conover taking the EOL for the contact that sent around Nicholas Walthorn after the checkup due to Anthony Monroe and Jeremy Weigel getting into it here. But that's going to put us into our first overtime here tonight. Justin Brooks still leading us. Philip York, Tyler Catalano, Blaine Harrison. Let's see if we can go through the field, all the way through the field. Bryant Miller in the 99, Anthony Callahan, 31. Justin Raymond finds himself in the top 10, up 10 positions from the start. Trevor Haley up 13 positions, recovering from that incident we recovered earlier. Ken Zeems in the Barbie Mobile finds himself back in 9th after running in the top 3 earlier. Clayton Dorner, right on the cusp. Well, yep, actually is in the podium position. Dakota Malore, also 4th place. Heavy damage to that machine, so let's see if he has the pace, wants to go back racing. Jeremy Weigel, Bowling Springs, personal Something coming. I can't quite read what that says. Let's see if the rear chase. Let's give a shout out to a sponsor, shall we? Personal lation? Aerolation? I don't know, I need to ask. No idea. But as we were, Anthony Monroe, heavy damage for the Anthony Monroe machine. Chris Fleming, EJ Luna, Brian Conover, Nicholas Walthorn, JT Bierman, Greg Pillar disconnected, Kyle Terzak disconnected, Eli Lewis, Stephen Choate, Frank Klein, Dustin Nova. But let's go back up. In the fields, pace truck has his lights out. We're going to go back green flag for our first attempt at a green-white checkered here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour here at Richmond Raceway. And Justin Brooks takes us to the start finish. He's able to clear Philip York. Philip York didn't quite go on the outside. That's going to open up the door for Tyler Catalano on the inside, who sends it in, misses that apron, slides up a little bit. It's probably going to have to lift. That's going to give Justin Brooks a huge run. Gap in the field. Philip York, Tyler Catalano side by side. As I'm predicting, a caution is going to come out here as we go lap 108. So caution comes out right before they take the white flag. So let's go see where the damage comes in as Nicholas Walthorn is crab walking pretty significantly. Whoa. JT Bierman has had a eventful race as he looks like the Blues Brothers out there. As we see they're 3 wide. All right, let's go hop on board with the JT Bierman machine. So he's on the inside of 3. Being on the inside of 3, sending it in that deep, you're not going to be able to hold the inside line as if you would enter from the outside wall. So typically you have to lift a little bit earlier when you find yourself on the inside in these situations. So let's go see my prediction. JT Bierman's going to oversend the turn and come up into the 82 of Anthony Monroe and probably self-turn himself. Yep. So he can't quite hold it. Anthony Monroe's up there, right tires on the hash marks. That's going to send JT Bierman up in front of Drive Main, once again getting caught up in multiple incidents late. And that's going to put JT Bierman up on his sides. We see Nicholas Walthorn spinning around in the top left of your screen as well. Anthony Monroe's going to collect him, send him on a carousel as JT Bierman. Let's go ahead and ride on JT Bierman's nose again. There, that's a view you don't see every day. Checking out that safer barrier. Just cruising on the driver's side. See with the cockpit view. Yep, usually not what you want to see as he tries to turn that tire into the pavement to get that car right side up. Anyway. So, that's going to bring us to, oh my goodness, get the safety crew out there for Nicholas Walthorn. Let's go check out Nicholas Walthorn's car right now, because it's not in the best condition, because I don't think the car should be driving this skewed. The angle on your TV screen is correct, I assure you, but this car is broken. Yeah, Nicholas Walthorn definitely going to have to come down and try to get rid of some of that damage. We see Anthony Monroe also in there. Unlikely fast repairs. We see Nicholas Walthorn crab walking through Anthony Monroe. Yeah, he's going to have to repair the damage the hard way. Eli Lewis, perhaps crab walking as well. Or just entered the pits sideways, but also trying to repair some of this damage as we attempt for our second green-white checkered. Justin Brooks still leading the field, doing what he needs to do. We saw at the very beginning of this race, it appeared that he was saving based off of leading the field to green. Then falling back to the 4th position, which I think was his lowest position. We see Nicholas Walthorn exiting pit road at the bottom of your screen. Still significant damage. Let's see if race control or his spotter tells him that the car is too broken to continue and to take it to the pits. But if we look at the Courage Series current standings, so we have Blaine Harrison. Blaine Harrison currently P1 in the Courage Series, followed by Justin Raymond, Clayton Dorner, Dakota Malore, and Jeremy Weigel. Despite being caught up in that incident, still finds himself in the top 5 in the Courage Series. In the Honor Series, that's going to be led by your overall race leader, Justin Brooks, with Tyler Catalano overall P2 in 2nd, Philip York 3rd. Bryant Miller is going to find himself on the outside of Blaine Harrison once we get going, or perhaps in 5th. In 5th behind Blaine Harrison, so he is down 1 position. And then Anthony Callahan, you're going to see him move to the outside here. Rounds out your top 5 for the Honor Series. So again, if you missed it at the beginning, anybody 2,500 and above iRating will race in the Honor Series. 24.99 and below at the beginning of the first race of your cohort season will dictate what series that you race in. So I'll highlight drivers. Let's think. Justin Raymond, for example, began this season below 2,500. Now finds himself above 2,500, close to 3K, but he was below at the beginning of the season. Therefore, he is a Courage Series driver with lots of potential to compete, as he finds himself currently 2nd. Blaine Harrison, first time racing here, finds himself leading this race late for the Courage Series. So great showing by Blaine. But pace truck lights are out. Justin Brooks electing to go on the high side here as we're looking for our 2nd and final, spoiler alert, green-white checkered. Justin Brooks on the outside is going to head into the Geico restart zone. And green flags in the air. Justin Brooks leads us. It's going to allow him to take a great entry into turn 1 as we see contact between Philip York and Blaine Harrison. Is going to send Blaine Harrison up. It's going to open up the door for Bryant Miller, who is our current point standing leader, trying to close that gap with Justin Brooks. Every point is a position here in the Cohort Late Model Stock Tour, so every position will matter, especially as we wind down. There are 2 drop weeks, but we're hoping white flag for Justin Brooks, but we don't want to use those drop weeks for races that you competed in late. So Justin Brooks has a 2-car gap ahead of Tyler Catalano. Looks like he has this race in the bags. We see contact on the outside wall. Let's see where the battle is. So we have the battle right here between Clayton Dorner and Jeremy Weigel for P3 in the Courage Series. They're 3 wide across the finish. Justin Raymond, Trevor Haley. But Justin Brooks is going to win this race with Blaine Harrison, first timer here in the Cohort Late Model Stock Tour, getting the victory in the Courage Series. So great race by these guys. We're going to watch Justin Brooks go ahead and bring her to the start finish. Your overall winner here in the Cohort Late Model Stock Tour. So we're going to head down to the grid and do some driver interviews with these guys. All right, so let's get some driver interviews done. We're going to start with Jeremy Weigel. All right, let's see if he's available. All right, Jeremy, it's Kermit up in the booth. You got me?
Yep, I got you.
I'll tell you what, we had a nice long green flag run in the middle of that race, and then tell you what, it got intense in those closing laps. Talk to me about that race.
Yeah, everybody was pushing, trying to get to the bottom. I mean, this is a pretty big track for these cars. So you're not really gonna get too much momentum on top. There's not enough horsepower, not enough carry enough speed. So everybody was trying to get to the bottom. I kind of was just sitting back, saving tires the whole race. Uh, the way it was going there towards the end, I figured as long as I survived, I'd get a top 10, and that's where we ended up finishing.
Yeah, you brought home P3 in the Courage Series. You avoided some wrecks there early, kept the car clean when it mattered most. Any shout-outs to any team or sponsors?
Yeah, I gotta thank schoolsimracing.net, SSR Elite Team, Personal Evolution Company, um, Oh, there's so many. It's hard to name everybody. Uh, but yeah, congratulations to Bryant, my teammate. I know he had a good run tonight. He's up there in points. But yeah, and then just thank you and your group for putting this on.
Well, I appreciate you coming on board, trusting the cohort for your Sunday night racing league. Congratulations. Good points day for you. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers. All right, that's Jeremy Weigel. And let's see if we can get Justin Raymond up in the booth, bringing it home P2 in the Courage Series. Let's see if he's available. All right, Justin, it's Kermit up in the booth. You got me?
What's up, man?
All right, Justin Mello Raymond bringing it home P2 in the Courage Series. One of his first races here in the Courage or in the Kohort late model stock series Sunday nights. Mello, talk to me about that race.
I think the strategy there was to try to avoid the wrecks and collect the check at the end of the day. We started in the back. We were 8 seconds off the pace in our qualifying pace because we wanted to avoid being up in the front there, thinking that there would be some cautions that were going to be up in the front. Big thing was just to try to race our own race. We were working there with the 97 car of Brian Conover there, trying to save our tires there, let the guys kind of burn their stuff off, let the cautions happen. And we were working up there pretty good. And then I got hit from behind. And then sent me back to the back a little bit. But then it seemed like my caution kind of initiated the group of cautions there at the end of the race. And then, with those cautions happening in front of us, we just kind of slid up to the front of the field there. And I realized I was P2 towards the end of that race. And I was like, oh, I got to hold on to this thing. So, yeah, it was a fun time, though.
Well, you kept it clean when it mattered most, so congratulations. Great points day for you. You're definitely going to close the gap on some of those guys that have been here week in and week out. I know you got some other hobbies going on, but always appreciate you coming in, racing with us here. Any shout outs to any teams or sponsors?
Yeah, I want to thank the cohort MC here. Got a good group of guys over here that hang out and have a good time with our fellow cohort motor club people, and I want to thank you for having me here and being a partnership of the Mellow SRX series.
All right, Mello, well, great finish. Look forward to seeing you next week.
See you later.
All right, that's Mello bringing it home. P2 in the Courage Series. Let's bring up Blaine Harrison. Our first time here in the cohort, bringing it home P1. So let's see if he's available. Blaine, it's Kermit up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Blaine, I tell you what, it's your first time here in the cohort, and you brought home P1 for the Courage Series.
Yeah, started towards the rear in the beginning because due to a bad qualifying run. We messed up the first lap, wanted to get a good run up off the corner, so we ran the top 3 and 4 and barely snatched the wall in the back on our second lap. So a bad qualifying start, but definitely worked our way up through the field, kept the nose clean, and didn't have enough tire wise like Justin and the rest of the guys did, but definitely a good night and a debut.
Yeah, definitely a great way to join the cohort is taking the checkered flag for the 2500 IR and below for the Courage Series. So congratulations. Look forward to seeing you in future weeks, and hopefully you can compete for that championship as the weeks wind down.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's Blaine. First time here in the cohort, bringing it home P1. So let's go see if Philip York is available. All right, let's see. Philip York. And he's going to bring up here. All right, let's see if Philip's coming up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right, Philip. Second race here in the cohort. I think you had a little more luck this time around, bringing home P3 for the Honor Series. Talk to me about that race.
Yeah, man. Pretty happy with our finish tonight, especially after the last week we had where I think we led the first half of the race there, and I felt had a pretty good car, but things didn't turn out as well as they did tonight, and had a really good time racing with Justin and the guys up front. We really kept it clean, ran door to door a lot, and just a lot of good racing.
Yeah, there was we had a long green flag run. It was good to see side-by-side battles, and I really thought tire conservation was definitely going to come into play. And I think it did late as we saw people trying to be a little more aggressive. Cautions started to pile up late in that race, but you kept it clean, brought home P3 in the Honor Series. Good points day for you. Any shout-outs on your teams or sponsors?
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to my real race team, the Holston River Machine Shop. They keep me supplied on and off the track with a good hot piece, and really that's it.
All right, buddy. Well, you did what you needed to do. You kept it clean when it mattered most. Podium finish for the Honor Series. Look forward to seeing you next week's.
Thank you, and thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Cheers, buddy. All right, let's see if we have our top guys available, our top 2 in the honor series. Let's see if they're available for an interview. I don't see them in a voice chat. We're going to give them a minute, see if they want to come back up here. Because I did see Justin Brooks was in a voice chat earlier. Seems like he left. Maybe he has another race to get to. And Tyler's not in here either. So I think this is going to conclude our driver interviews for this race. But we have Tyler Catalano, another first timer here in the cohort, bringing home P2 in the honor series, and Justin Brooks bringing it home P1 again for his 3rd win in 4 races here in the cohort late model stock series. So it was a good race. We had some battles throughout. Then we definitely saw the uptick in cautions as the laps wind down. So I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, the correlation between laps remaining and the intensity. So as we saw those laps wind down, that intensity really ramped up, and that's why those cautions were coming. Excuse me, that's why those cautions were coming out. But overall, I think good race. We're going to do a race review, make sure we issue any penalties as we see what could have been avoided to try to really get those green flag runs and make it enjoyable for everybody here in the cohort. So I appreciate you guys joining and hanging out with us. Next week, we're going to head away from Richmond, and we're going to go back to a short track in Five Flags Speedway. Same time next Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Session's going to open. 9:30 race. We're going to be going for an undecided amount of laps, maybe 120 laps. Schedule currently says 100, but I think we're going to add some laps to it. So come and join us, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Cheers, guys.